and welcome. Hey, and welcome, guys. I switched it up a little bit on you. I switched it up a little bit. Let's get the music off. Oh, God, as you guys come into the room, this is a pre-recorded chat. What you talking about? Please do all the things at the bottom of the screen. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Please, please, please. Comment in the comment section and share this video where you share your videos because sharing is caring. And of course, the Cash App is there for those who like to partake. Razzle dazzle time. We're back, y'all. Not too bad. I know I know episodes 5 and 6 have aired already. So let's get through these. We're here for Harlem, season 3, episodes 3 and 4. And hopefully I could get to 5 and 6 relatively quickly. I don't want them to be too stale for you guys. Now, my feelings as I'm watching these episodes, we'll talk about episode 4 when we get to episode 4. My feeling like episode 1 gave me a lot, episode 2 not so much. I feel like with this one I got a lot with episode 3, but not so much in episode 4. It's just as well. We don't want to make them too long, so let's get right into it. Season 3, episode 3 is titled Can We Talk me for a minute? So we're gonna try and do pretty much by characters. We may veer off a little bit, but let's see how it goes. So for Quinn's character, Quinn and Seth are, they going strong with their crazy no strings attachedness of it all. Yes, I'm making up words. And she's, killing it in the style game. And he's continuing to shout her out on TV as his stylist. Now, we're going to have a little problem with that later on in the episode, but we'll get into that, I think, when we're talking about Camille as the ladies meet up. Ty is barely holding on to her celibacy, which I hate when they say celibacy. It's really abstinence, because celibacy is like for the priest and the nuns. Like, you don't have no intention of really ever having sex. At least that's what I was told, child. But anyway, she barely hanging on to it, okay? As she and Eva are mixing business with that pleasure, okay? But Eva is being very patient and very kind with new Ty, and I love to see it. I like these two together. I think that's one of the good things that they did do with season 3 is give us Gail Bean, because she is a great actress and she is killing this role. And I just like something better for Ty, something more meaningful, because we had that with Annie, and then, womp womp, that didn't go too well. So later on in the episode, they have another date, like at a museum. It looks very, very cool. Something I would definitely like to do. And Eva is kind of telling her how she ended up, a funny story of how she ended up coming out. Excuse my kids in the background, y'all. A funny story how she ended up coming out to her family. I can talk, I promise you. And Ty is basically revealing that she left home and never went back. So she never came out. She doesn't think that it's a big deal. She feels like it's in her past. But Eva's like, baby, it's not sex that is the root of your issues. Like, the celibacy ain't going to get you nowhere. That's a little bit of a Band-Aid on a bigger issue if you can't confront, But Ty, she starts to get a little offended and a little defensive, as Eva's just trying to, like I said, trying to get her to see that the celibacy is not going to solve anything. But Ty just is not comfortable with talking to her homophobic parents. But Eva suggests it may be better to play offense than defense. And later on, well, before we get to that, let's speak on that just a very small bit. I will try not to get on my soapbox. You guys know my story. You know what I'm working with. Black parents, be a little more understanding of your children. Being, LGBTQ plus, it ain't the worst thing in the world. We all people. Like, it's gonna be all right. It may not be what you want. It may not be what you were looking for, but our kids do whatever the hell they want to do, okay? Not that you have a choice in that matter, but just, try to have a little understanding. Off my soapbox. Later on, Ty decides to break her celibacy on the couch with Eva. I said, come on, y'all. I mean, Eva was right, and she did admit it. And I like how Eva is bringing out that softer side of Ty, and that more understanding and introspective side. Because she's an intelligent woman, but she a little rough around the edges sometimes. Oh, and we do see at the end of the episode, she books a trip. Oh, I thought she booked a trip to Atlanta to deal with the past. We saw her looking at a flight. Turns out, because when we got to episode 4, we found out that didn't happen. That kind of wraps tie up a little bit. Like I said, we got a little bit of a scene with the ladies together where we'll get into more things. Angie and Michael go look at Cipriani for their wedding. Being a New York girl, everybody knows Cipriani's. She is ready to pull the trigger, but he kind of wants to talk it over. Now, we don't really find out at the moment why that is. And I wish he had kind of just, said it with his chest and said it in the moment, or actually even said it before we got here, because he's been saying all along that he wants small and intimate, and she wants something more big. She has a big family. She has lots of friends. So I get it, not quite the intimate space he was looking for. But Angie, like I said, she wants that big production. Elise calls later to check in. That's the lady at Cipriani's, because somebody else wants the date child. Hold tight 1 second, y'all. Please, por favor. Okay, guys, my apologies. We're back. So somebody else is looking at the venue, and she has to know now. Okay, baby, there is no time to wait, because she asked her to give it 20 minutes so she could discuss it with Michael, which would have been a smart thing to do. But there's no time to wait. So she books it using Michael's card. And I just knew, baby, that was going to be a problem. And problem it was. He comes home, she trying to be all sexy in her lingeries, right? And he's like, why is there a $50,000? I said, Lord Jesus, charge to Cipriani on his card. So she tried to speak her speech, but he's basically starts to tell her, it's not all about you. And he's trying to explain, I don't want a big venue because, me and my family aren't really close like that. Baby, I fully understand that right now. And he doesn't think that they'd show if he even invited them. So he doesn't want to make it noticeable when, everybody's on her side. He don't have nobody on his side. And it's just a painful reminder that his family does not care. Oh, Michael, I could have given you a big, fat hug. Now, what I was expecting to happen is not what happened. I was expecting Angie to be like, okay, we could put some of my people on your side and even it out a little bit. But she says she'll compromise on the venue. I totally did not see that coming. But kudos to Angie. That shows us a little depth in that character. And that maybe I'm wrong about Angie. Maybe Angie does at least want to be married now. I still ain't sure about the baby thing. But maybe at least she does want to be married. Camille is writing her book, y'all, and she ain't got no health insurance. Ooh, she goes to the doctor to get some testing, y'all. It is like $1,600. The pain that I felt for her, sis, okay? So now, here she is again, knocking on Ian's door. And he's kind of saying the same thing, like, what is going on with all these unexpected visits? And then as they're trying to have a conversation, Portia starts popping out and talking about pastries, which evokes all kinds of faces from Camille, because Camille is not feeling the situation. She is real butthurt about it, and now she walking around with this man's baby, and we just got to deal with it. So Ian invites her in, but she'd rather stand out in the cold, have an attitude. Our girl Camille, our good sis Camille. So this is when she finds out, because she's like, do I have to, have an invitation or something when she's not here? He's like, no, Portia lives here now. I said, oh, baby, now she lives here now. And he reveals that they're trying to start a family. Now, this doesn't go over well with Camille. We know this. Camille gets worried because she thinks that the girl was pregnant, but no. But he does tell her that they did create embryos, which is hella quick if you ask me. Like, in 2 months, y'all created embryos. Like, okay, so they moved in. That was a little more than I thought they were going to do. We're still not talking about marriage. I guess, like I said, marriage ain't for everybody, but it's just like, I understand they grew up together. It's such a quick leap to make. Anywho, she's upset that she wasn't privy to this information. So she just standing outside going off. Like, you didn't give me all the information to work with when I was making my decisions, which to me, I feel like Camille should have been making the decision for herself anyway, regardless of whatever his feeling was. So it's a situation. I mean, you let him know that's really the best you can do with it. But to me, I feel like she should have been having the baby. This is from what they're showing us. Because if she didn't keep this pregnancy, there's a possibility that she would never have, her own biological child. So that should have been your reasoning, and that doesn't really have anything to do with Ian or that girl. Moving back to the show, y'all. So she goes and runs it back to the ladies, and Ty's like, it's not a bad idea. Like, the doctor told me that freezing embryos is a better option than freezing eggs, which sends Quinn into a tailspin because they're the same age. Quinn gonna worry about something. So then they start, discussing alternative insurance plans, or can she get Medicaid? But Medicaid, you got to wait 4 to 6 weeks, baby. It's a whole thing. Okay. I think I had to do something with health insurance in the middle of my first pregnancy, and it was not pretty. Okay. Not pretty at all. So Ty is like, where is Ian in all this? And that's where she kind of telling that's what she went for, and she got sidetracked. She went over there to discuss it, and got sidetracked. So Ty's telling her, listen, you got to be an adult and give the conversation another shot. But baby, Camille ain't really trying to have the whole conversation. So she goes to talk to her editor about another advance. Well, she says she's going to go talk to her editor about another advance. And the ladies are kind of trying to tell her like they got her, It's like 50-50. Quinn is kind of wanting the same thing that I think Camille really wanted, which is for her and Ian to get back together and live happily ever after. Ty is a little more practical, like, yeah, be an independent woman, but also he the daddy, okay? He needs the help. And Angie is more, independent woman, because that's kind of where she's standing with Michael. So she's like, do what you got to do. So now after Camille leaves, this is where we start to mix the stories a little bit together. Quinn goes to social media where Seth's old stylist, Carly, is ripping her a new one, baby, okay? Asking, where is the solidarity, sis? And then she's like, I didn't just leave him hanging. He's a dumbass that lost his luggage. I said, oh, baby, she a reading for Phil, child. So she is saying on this live what he really wanted was Quinn and his harem. And I said, damn. By the time we got to episode 4, I said maybe we should have listened to that. So now Quinn is feeling bad, and Ty tries to defend her, but Angie's like, I ain't gonna lie, points were made. So then she starts crying about being light skinned. She's like, she don't know how to be nothing else, baby. Quinn is light skinned, okay? So Ty's telling her to, clap back, set the record straight. But Quinn don't like to ruffle no feathers. She kind of just want to wait for Seth to fix it. But the lady's like, you need to kind of address this Carly situation woman to woman. So Camille does get to this meeting for the second advance. And instead of even getting a word in edgewise, she gets notes on the 3 chapters that she's submitted. Some are overwritten. She'd like her to be more conversational and less academic. Baby, she is a professor, okay? Camille is going to be academic if she doesn't do anything else. And she asked her for the title, and she gives this long ass title, baby. She do not like the title at all. So Camille decides to jump in the middle of all of this, and shoot her shot and ask for this advance. And she's like, you need to turn in the rest of the chapters. Like, you got an advance for no pages, you know what I'm saying? And so 3 chapters, you get nada. Camille's like, can we like prorate these chapters? Like, I get a little bit each chapter. No. Ma'am's like, nah, it's a no can do. It's you can submit all the chapters or stay where you're at. So when she gets home, she starts to calling around to some of her other freelance assignments, kind of, looking for payment. Some of them are telling she got to wait 60 days. That ultimately she don't have no luck. So Quinn finally takes to social media. She gets on the live and she lets them know, she has terminated her stylist relationship with Seth. She tells Carly that she has nothing but respect for her work, and then she kind of just jumped in last minute to help, not realizing the ramifications. Quinn is very naive. So she apologizes from one Black woman to another, and she hopes that they can squash this. Now, she's getting positive comments. I thought the girl Carly was going to hop back online. That's not what they gave us, so I'm glad we got our happy ending there. Seth kind of comes in afterwards and want to talk about it. He's like, I see you handled it yourself. And she's like, she had to go with her gut and just get it done. So he's like, well, what about us? Now, we don't see the answer on this episode, but we get to it in episode 4, baby. And do we get to it? So at the end of the episode, it looks like we finally see our girl Camille give Ian a call. They sit down at a restaurant and she just starts to ramble about the implications of her leaving Colombia on her finances. And he basically is like, I got her. I got you. Anything that you and the baby needs, I'm good on it. She go to show him a receipt. He's like, I don't need any receipts. And I said, amen, baby. Okay, man. Amen, Ian. That's the man for you. I don't need no receipts. I'm going to take care of my responsibility because sometimes these ninjas be thinking you lying. And for why? Okay. So he apologizes for not telling her about Portia's embryos. And this is when Camille reveals that there are no abnormalities as per the blood test, and it's a girl. I'm gonna need you good people to take a quick minute, like the video, and then we will get into episode 4. Okay, good people, I hope you have taken a moment to like the video. Episode 4 is titled Foot Rub, baby, and your girl could use one right about now. So Ty and Eva are hot and heavy in this episode, unlike in any of Ty's other relationships, because if you want to call them that, Ty really do situationship. She usually, kind of hump them and dump them and put your ass out in the curb before the morning gets here, because she just don't. But she about ready to give Eva a draw and everything, okay? She's telling the ladies later on, that's basically how sprung she is, that Eva got her nose wide open and she just loves the fact that she's not annoying. Oh, Ty. Um, And it doesn't sound like she got to her folks yet. Now, I mentioned that in episode 3 that I thought at the end of the episode that she was actually booking the tickets to Atlanta, but it was just, a thought on her mind from the conversation she had with Eva. She ain't been nowhere yet, okay? She ain't been nowhere yet. And oh, Harlem, can we talk about this time jump? Because I ain't even mentioned that yet, because we doing it by character. We haven't even talked about this time jump because it's quite ridiculous. So they are just basically doing everything together. We see them, laying in bed together. We see them later on at the office trying to get some work in. And, Eva's kind of struggling with a project she's working at. So Ty looks at it. She gives her critique. Eva, was like, she welcomes it. She thinks it's a good idea. She takes, the work criticism very well. Ty, on the other hand, when she asked her to look at her little Canva presentation stuff, she don't take it so well. She does not take it so well, and she even throws Eva out. I said, baby, not you threw Eva out the office, like the audacity, like for why? I said, y'all just had to throw a fake fight in here, huh? Everything was going too good. It was too much like she was, learning some lessons. Like I said, growing as a person, having a meaningful adult relationship, and y'all just threw this fake fight in here. So later on, she has to go visit her and eat crow. And Eva's like, listen, I've heard you take harsher critique from, the good old boys, basically, folks at work. But Ty basically wants to impress her. She doesn't want her to see anything that's wrong or anything where she's not going to perceive her in her best life, but in her best light. But this is life and this is relationships. And Eva kind of tries to convey that to her. I think they both are saying their I love yous and all of that good stuff. And we love to see it. Like, you're going to have your ups and downs in relationships. You're not going to see your partner as perfect always. And that's what you're there for them to lean on and, give you the reassurance that you need. So Angie is being Angie at this rehearsal, baby. Okay. And this could be her big break. So when she's having the cake tasting with Michael, sorry, he ain't no Mike by a long shot. He is Michael, okay? Sir is snooty pants, okay? I mean, I love it. We love a little bougie, okay? But he's not sure if her singing about drugs in her booty is it. He wants her to show more range in her acting and not just be the funny girl. But Angie's kind of telling him like she likes to act. She's proud. This is her first lead. Um, and he's like, baby, if it's money, like I got you. I got all the money you need. He kind of gives her a credit card. And I was like, oh my God. No, Michael, no, no, no. You've been so good up until now. Well, we've had some problems because like I think I said on the first recap I did, I need him to embrace her differences a little bit more. Like if you are welcome to them at the beginning of the relationship, why are you trying to impose how you are and how you want her to be on her? So we're still kind of there. So when Angie meets up with the lady, she kind of checks in with Ty about the role to, do a little temperature check and see what she thinks. And Ty's like, she reassures her before the ladies show up. Baby, why is Camille trying to date pregnant? I mean, I get it, wanting companionship and somebody to love and dote over you, because I always say I did not have the best pregnancies, okay, as far as the men being supportive, but we're not going to get into that on this recap. We talk about Harlem, we not talking about me. So at the rehearsal where the big wig shows up, Angie is in her head about what Michael said, so she wants to sing like a ballad. She don't want to sing the lead song, which is the one about the drugs in her booty. But the director's not trying to hear it. She's like, if you do not want to show up and show out, somebody else will. So she was like, all right, I'm gonna give it all I got, baby. She stepped up in there and we get a whole scene. Okay. I mean, it was a lot. Okay. It was very, very extra, read all about it. But at the end of the day, Angie really killed that role. I must say, she had the singing, she had the dancing, and it was great. It was good to see. We loved it. So much so that she gets home that night and she tells Michael the same thing. Like, baby, I was up there and I was killing it. Okay. Was giving them something they could feel. And, I love what I do and I love being a boss and I love being lead, all of the things. And she's really, really happy and she's really excited. And she's like, excuse me, y'all. She don't really want to rely on him for any money. So, and she's like, as much as it, pains her to say it, because Angie was given very much homosexual herself in them first 2 seasons, laid up on Quinn's couch. But now she's bossed up and she's taking what's hers, and she give him that car back and she walk away. And I said, I don't know if Sir took that so well, and it has me just a little concerned for the two of them. So Quinn and Seth, they still doing whatever it is they doing. She's still getting styling gigs, but not really with him. And he asked her to be part of a Black love shoot, which I was kind of like, how y'all in a situationship, but y'all doing a Black love shoot? I think the ladies had kind of said the same thing to her. Now, when we get to this photo shoot, Quinn is killing it. She looks absolutely amazing. Kofi looks, chef's kiss. Okay, a chocolate man in a suit. What else do we need? The shoot is absolutely beautiful, complete with the fake kids. So this got Camille and her, not Camille, this got Quinn and her feelings, because Quinn is getting back to a little bit back to the old Quinn. Camille comes over and they're kind of sitting around. They're at not Kofi, Seth's place. And she's like, they're still exclusively non-exclusive. And initially she was okay with it because it was her idea, but she's starting to fall for him. So I think Camille was asking her if she had told Seth if she sees the vision. And she hadn't told Seth. She's feeling kind of nervous about it. But Camille is gushing. We are emotions. We are wanting love ourselves. We are loving that our friend is in love. Great, great, great. Camille says, sometimes life doesn't work out the way that you would imagine, but that doesn't mean you still can't have what you always wanted. I absolutely love that line, because sometimes we get so stuck in things not happening the way we wanted them to, that we just don't realize, like, you can still have what you want. I'm kind of repeating the same thing that she said. You know what I mean, child. We're going to move forward. So she gets busted kind of telling Camille that, she wants a family, when Seth walks in and he's got flowers for Camille. He's got flowers for Quinn. And he's also got a friend. So they, they having a good time. They playing a little, charades, card games, whole nine. And then after all this is over, the friend kind of asks Camille out. After everybody has gone, okay, they're laying in bed that night. This is Quinn and Seth. And he says, maybe he'll spend more time in New York during the off season. So he says, I love you. and so does she. But in the middle of the night, Sir gets a phone call and he gets on up and walks out the room. But he ain't really whispering like that, like that. He gets a call from somebody named Sabrina. Hey, babe. Not babe. Not babe. Okay, I'm just over at Quinn's house. I'm going to be on the next thing smoking. I'm going to be right back to you. Yeah, I love you too. That's actually where the episode ended. But we about to move on to our good girl, Camille. So, baby, this is out of order. So I think when we opened the episode, Camille was on chapter 18 of her book Joy, and this is where we have found out. Actually, I should have did Camille at the top of episode 4. Truly, 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 because really Quinn did have the big dun 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 at the end of the episode. But I'm just so used to doing Camille last because the show has been heavy Camille focused, and it's been all about Camille and this pregnancy and whatnot. So we got a time jump. She's pregnant. She is 32 weeks pregnant, which is 8 months. Ian is there. They're at, a doctor's visit. Very, very cute. So now they still got to do Lamaze and visit the hospital and all the things you have to do in preparation for the baby. But she trying to, grab a little bite to talk about the things. But he got to rush her home and get home to Portia. So another day, Camille shows up for Lamaze, and she waiting for Ian. And that Lamaze lady was irritating me. She was like, "No, this is couples Lamaze, single moms." So I said, "Ma'am, don't do that. Don't do that." I was so irritated. It was so rude because some people will be like that, like a little no judgment and a nice nasty. It don't help. Now at the end of the day, he don't show up, and she got kicked out of the couples Lamaze anyway. And I'm like, Ian, why would you do that? But they're both learning how to handle this situation, how to be new parents that aren't quite parents yet. They're in parent route and navigate all the things. And he's in a relationship and everything that co-parent is going to bring. So when Camille was over at Seth's place, she got a little foot rub from the new guy and maybe a ride home. Now, when she was there, she had been ignoring Ian's calls. Now, like I said, and mind you, he did not show up to Lamaze. But now he is knocking at her door for a change. I said, well. So he's kind of telling her that she needs to answer the phone when he calls or texts or whatever, or something just to let him know that her and the baby are okay. That's fair, but sir, you kind of got to do the same because you just did the same thing earlier and didn't give her the courtesy of responding until later. So what's good for the goose? ... So he's like, "Why are you dressed that way?" So she's kind of telling him, what went down, and she was over at, with Quinn and Seth, and she was kicking it in his homeboy, and he's like, "Oh, somebody was hitting on you like that with a pregnant lady." I said, the judgment is crazy over here. So as she is giving him this explanation, the friend walks down. His name is Cisco, baby, because I ain't even know the man's name was Cisco to this point. And Ian got a whole attitude. Now she's telling him, hold on one second. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. She's telling him, like, Ian, you can go on about your business, okay? So these two step on outside, right? And she has to just remind him, like, "Sir, you missed the whole Lamaze class. You did not answer your phone. You took forever to respond. Like, this ain't cool." So he finally reveals that Portia's father had a stroke. So Camille's like, "All right, I'm gonna let this go. But what I need for you to realize is I don't get to miss things no matter how I feel, whether I'm sick, whether I'm well, happy, sad, mad, glad, like you on and the baby ain't even got here yet, but she is not wrong, okay? You got to be a mommy all the time." So he has to kind of learn. So he apologizes, he's like, it's the first for him. He's got to learn. She says, she's going to give him some more grace, but she kind of asks, can she get the same? Because she's like, she knows he's in a relationship, but she would like to have some of that friend co-parent bonding time. I don't know how great of an idea that is, but he says he'll carve some time out for her. I like Camille's growth a little bit because, Camille can be a little flip-floppish, a little childish, a little bit of a lot of things. So I kind of appreciate her, trying to keep her calm and give Ian grace. And, she did show up at his door once, but I mean, that's the best we could ask for with Camille. So yeah, I kind of like where that went. Like I said, Prime Video, don't you do no more time jumps in these last two episodes. I heard the last two episodes are really, really good. I'm really excited to see them. Just a reminder before you guys get on out of here, please like if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Comment down in the comment section and let me know what you thought of these episodes. I heard 3 and 4 was a little fillerish. I'm inclined to agree. 1 and 2 are pretty good, and 5 and 6 are phenomenal. So meet me back here. Give me a day or so to watch the episodes and report back, and we will end this thing out, y'all. I cannot believe we are saying goodbye to Harlem. It is so. They don't got to do the black shows like this, baby. I have changed the date. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Help your girl get to 1,000. May 31st. Whoop. There it is. I appreciate you guys ever so kindly. I want you to poke around and see what else you can find. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Lord, y'all.